my name is Charlie Kemp and this is my assignment. Hello, my name is Charlie Kemp and this is my assignment for security of my house in case it was to become a potential police house. I'm stood outside my house in Ludlow currently, and I'm going to be telling you everything I do to improve the security measures of it to become a police safe house. The first thing that I would do was remove the pathway to the door and replace it with gravel, so any steps on it would be a lot louder. There would be 2 locks on the front door. One would need an actual key, and the other one would be activated by a fingerprint scanner right next to it. Although that lock will still have a keyhole in it, just to make sure that it looks very disguised and they won't know what the fingerprint scanner accesses. My house is made of brick and connected to 2 other houses, so I can't exactly paint it, but any of the window sills and any parts sticking out of the house and the rooftop will be painted by anti-climb paint, so any potential thieves will slip off when they try and get into the house. The front door will have a peer-through hole to see who's coming through to the front door. There will be a beware of the dog sign near the front door to scare anyone off, and all of the windows will be made of bulletproof glass so they cannot be shot through or hit, and there will be a doorbell on the front door too, which in my real life does actually make my German Shepherd bark extremely loudly, so this is why I thought it would be an extremely good feature. Also, all of the windows on the house will be one-way windows, so when you look through on the outside it will just look like a mirror to you, but everyone on the inside can just see everything outside. Now I've moved to the inside of my house, and on the other side of the front door I'll have a latch just to hold back anyone who tries to break in for a few more seconds. Also, before I carry on with the inside of my house, I'll also have CCTV watching the front door on the outside of my house. This will also be in the corridor of my house too. The CCTV in my house will not be constantly watched by a police officer. It will all just be recorded onto a CD. My German Shepherd will also freely roam around the house. When she was a puppy, we had her trained as a guard dog for our pub that we used to run. Therefore, she is very sensitive to sounds and very cautious of people she doesn't know. So she will bark at people walking on the gravel and at the doorbell. The downside to this is she will be very suspicious when people she doesn't know come into the house. One flaw in the security of most houses is people leave their valuables in plain sight. So what I'm doing to prevent this from happening is making the floorboards on the bottom floor, some of them I'm going to make them removable, and have a hole underneath to store any potential valuables. The floorboards will be locked though and triggered by a chip and pin device placed next to the door to the lounge, which will be used to unlock both the door to the lounge, which will be the interview room, and the floorboards, which store valuables. The floorboard and the door have 2 different pins. Say the floorboard might be 9655 and the door 1973. As I open the lounge door, I can have access to the lounge and the kitchen. The kitchen will be transformed into the room where all of the interviews are recorded, and this is where all the computers will be in that. It is vital to make the lounge look as homely as possible, make it look like a friendly environment and a peaceful place generally, to make mainly children more comfortable with being interviewed. So there will be normal features of a lounge, like plants, sofas, chairs and other furniture, a TV. In the walls there will be hidden security cameras and voice recorders, so all of the interviews with the children should be recorded. The cameras in the interview room will be triggered by motion, so as soon as someone walks in the room, everything will turn on and start recording, which will be useful for the interviews and people who are potentially going to steal from the room. Going back to the floorboards, the only thing that will be put in there is camera equipment and recording equipment that can be easily moved. We will try and avoid keeping as many valuables in the safe house as possible, because it will not be really a secret that it is a police house to some people. So it's easy to find out that it will be a safe house, and people will assume there's expensive recording equipment in there. So only like movable camera equipment will be kept in there and in floorboards, and anything that can be taken out of the house when it's not being used will be. For extra security, we will have 1 police officer living inside the house at all times for a couple of weeks at a time to keep the police house more safe, and the neighbours will know that there's people living inside the house, so it will put them off robbing it as well. After a couple of weeks, a new police officer will switch over and will live inside the safe house. The police officer will have to live alone, though, as they are the only person that will be trusted with the house, and their family will not have been tested to see if they're trustworthy or not. The kitchen will have all the recording equipment in it and a person in it when someone's being interviewed at all times watching. This room will also be protected by a chip and pin device next to the door to the kitchen. The computers will be protected by a password and fingerprint scanner, and if the fingerprint or the password are wrong 5 times at the least, then the computer will shut down and can only be turned back on again with a master key. There will also be CCTV cameras in the room watching the equipment at all times. All of the doors will make very loud noises when opened and closed, like so, to trigger off random sound sensors around the house that will let the nearest police station nearby know that there is someone up and moving around the house. Every stair will make a creaky noise like this every time they're stepped on, to also help trigger the sound sensors around the house. On the second floor of my house there are 4 rooms: my younger brother's room, my younger sister's room, my room, and the bathroom. The bathroom will not have any security in it, as it's not going to be holding any valuables, and it is just a bathroom. Apart from the loud door, nothing else will be put in place. The 3 bedrooms are 3 different sizes. My younger brother's room is the largest. It's fairly big, a lot of space to move around. My sister's room is about half the size, not much space to move around. And my room is a bed and pretty much hardly any walking space around. The large room, which is my brother's room, will be a room for people and families who come in to be interviewed. This room will be just to keep families entertained while other members of the family are being downstairs or being recorded. In the corner will be a TV with an Xbox for children and teenagers to play with. There will be a bookshelf with books in it for people to read, and comfy chairs just to sit and relax in as much as they can. I don't want to put security cameras in here, as it is a place to make the families relax as much as they possibly can while they're being prepared to be interviewed. And I feel security cameras would make them feel uneasy and on the edge. There will, on the other hand, be secret voice recorders, just in case they do discuss what they're going to be talking about in the interview, and in case they say anything extra that they may forget or deliberately not say in the interview. These will be hidden in things such as soft bears on high shelves and microphones hidden in the controllers of the video game consoles, as the controllers will be pretty close to people's faces. My younger sister's room, which is the medium-sized room, will be used as a sort of mini conference room for all the police officers inside the house when they need to discuss what was being said in interviews. There will be a small rounded table in the middle and chairs around the outside. This will have motion-activated CCTV cameras and voice recorders in there as well. My room is very small, so it cannot be used for much other than putting a computer in and making it a quiet, small workspace. Only one person can really fit in here at a time, though, so it would just be put here for one officer. There'll be a high-tech computer, a good desk, a good chair. All of the computers in the police house will be able to access the West Mercia intranet. Therefore, all of these computers are important and must be protected at all times. So there will be CCTV, but no voice recorders, as it is a personal working space, and I will be unlikely to talk, or the police officers in there will be unlikely to talk to themselves. But the camera will be able to see everything that the computer does and whoever works on it. This computer will also be activated by a password and a thumb/fingerprint scanner. Unlike the other computer, if it's wrong 5 times, the computer will shut down and only be able to be activated by a master key. The window in this room and all of the other rooms in the house, like I said before, they will be bulletproof, and they will also be double paned, so in case people manage to break the first layer of the windows. These windows will also be soundproof, and also not being able to open like normal windows, but being opened like, say, the windows at college, activated by a button and only opened a few centimetres, because being able to open them fully would be a huge security risk to the house. The stairs to the top floor will also be very squeaky. This room will have a lot more security, as it is where a police officer will live. The entire top floor is just 1 bedroom and an ensuite bathroom. This is a fairly big room for one person to live in, so it will be comfortable for the police officer, and has a private ensuite bathroom, so he will not have to share with the people being interviewed. It has 2 windows in the bedroom, which will be completely blacked out if the police officer wants to, as it is his own private room. But there will also be a button, being able to change it so that it will just turn into a sort of one-way mirror so he can see out. But at no point can people see into the room. I have to consider that since there's a police officer going to be living in here, he will want some of his private, valuable things in here as well, such as phone, TV, laptop, computer game system. These will also need to be protected to ensure the safety of the police officer as well, and to make him feel safe in the house that he's living in. We will put CCTV in the bedroom, and it will be recorded at all times, no matter what. It will cover most of the bedroom, but not all, in case the police officer wants a small bit of privacy to get changed, for example. So it will not cover a small part of the room, which will not hold any valuables. We will tell him not to put any valuables in there, as the CCTV will not cover it, so he can use the corner for getting changed. Behind the mirror on the wall, there will be a safe in the wall for any valuables that the police officer feels he needs to keep extra secure. This mirror will also be watched by the CCTV. The police officer should not be bothered by the CCTV watching him at all times, as it is his job to be there, so we will not take that into consideration when putting CCTV in his living space. There will also be sound recorders in this room, but they will only be used when triggered by very loud noises, just for his safety and security. Like the other bathroom, the ensuite bathroom will not have much security in it, as it will just be a bathroom, and we will tell the police officer not to put any valuables in here. The only thing that will be in here is a shower, bath, toilet, a washing machine, and tumble dryer, and a sink. I'll make sure not to put a shed in the back garden with any tools that could be used by robbers to break into the house. All of the windows in the back of the house are the same as every other window, bulletproof, double glazed, and one-way mirrors. There will be barbed wire on the roof of the house and any extended parts of the house to stop people from climbing, with also the anti-climb paint, and this also applies to the front of the house as well. But there will be not much in the back garden, just to make sure that nothing can be used by any potential robbers to break into the house. Some final things I want to add are making sure that every visitor signs a visitor's book, so everyone can see who comes in and out of the house. All of the house will be very well lit, so the security cameras can see everything clearly, and everyone can see everyone else clearly. But when it's dark, all of the security cameras will have nighttime vision, so everyone still is clear. Also, every police officer that the police officer living in the house lets into the house has to check their ID and signature, and also has to be told beforehand that the police officer is coming in. There will be some, in case of emergency items, such as a sort of a break glass to press the button and set off the fire alarm in the house in case there's a fire, to alert the fire department to come and put it out. Also, the police officer living in the house will have a baton on him at all times. Also, to get in any room with a computer, you have to have an ID card with a certain pattern on it to scan after you put in the chip and pin to let you into the room, which will be the kitchen with all the interview equipment, and the room that was my room for the personal working space. Everything on the computer will be saved to the West Mercia Police intranet, and the police in the house will be told when there's people coming to be interviewed. Like I said before, there will be one police officer living in the house at any one time, but that police officer will be there all of the time, and it will be only them at night time, but in the day, one police officer will come there to work in the daytime from 9 to 5. The ID system that the police officers check when other police officers come into the house will have a photo pass with their signature and the pattern to let them into the computer rooms. To be clear with the photo pass letting you into the computer rooms, you have to put in the chip and pin thing first, and then you scan your card, because people can easily nick your card and pass as a police officer, but if you know the pin as well, it'll just be extra secure. Also, every car that parks near the house, the number plate will be recorded, and all driver's licenses will be checked. All of these security measures put in place will work together by a lot of the sound things, the sound detectors, and also the German Shepherd guard dog will also be able to hear it and bark loudly to alert any police officers in the house. Some of the signs in the room will also turn on CCTV cameras, like the one in the interview room, because not many people would go there unless it is just an interview, whereas the other rooms will be frequently used. And also the person in the house at all times will also be able to turn on the security cameras when needed, and be able to go and get someone to get the master key, or ring someone because they're not allowed to leave the house, to get the master key to unlock the computers in case they've been locked by someone who doesn't know the password or has had the wrong fingerprint more than 5 times. The security of the house at the moment is good enough to be the security of a normal family home, as there are quite a few stones outside and a doorbell, which does make my dog bark loud, which alerts everyone in the house, as pretty much the wall's made of paper and everything that the dog does can be heard, which makes everyone know that there's someone outside the house. The windows are double paned, and they have secure locks when they're shut, so they cannot really be opened easily when they are shut properly. Other than that, there is not really much security in the house, although there is no shed in the back or any tools that could help a robber break into my house with. But that is everything I feel necessary to put in the house to maintain the security of the people, premises and property. And I've said how the security measures work together to contribute to the maintenance of security, like the gravel triggering the dog at the doorbell, the squeaky floorboards, the doors triggering the dog, which makes the side detectors go off and turn the CCTV on for any rooms that are not constantly being monitored. And that was my P3M3 assignment for Unit 29 Security Procedures in the Public Services. Thank you.